I'm excited to turn this over to Carrie Lockhart, Jose Salas, and Zach Silvers. They work with Allen ISD in the Advanced Academics program, and so they're going to share all about advanced academics and the international baccalaureate programs that are offered here in Allen ISD. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and you guys should now be able to share yours. Thank you all for being here with us today.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much. I will share this presentation and we will get started. Families, like Ashley said, we are going to talk through some of the many opportunities available at Allen High School for your students. We will focus primarily on advanced placement as well as international baccalaureate and advanced options available to students. We do want to plug the upcoming Raising Eagles webinar for dual credit. They will give you a lot of great information about this additional excellent opportunity for your students. So I'll begin by introducing myself. I'm Carrie Lockhart. I am the coordinator for Gifted and Talented and Advanced Academics here in Allen for students in K-12.
I am Jose Salas. I'm the Advanced Academics Coordinator here on Allen High School.
And I'm Zach Silvers. I'm over at the Library Freshman Center. I'm the Advanced Academics Coordinator there.
All righty, so together we are a team that will do our best to help answer any questions that you have. You're able to reach out and contact us anytime. So let's start with what advanced academics courses are. So these include the classwork that we offer, the programs such as Advanced Placement at International Baccalaureate, and the associated supports that work together to provide your child opportunities to demonstrate college and career readiness, and really importantly, earn that college credit at the high school level. As I mentioned earlier, we've got advanced and advanced placement courses available at both Lowry and Allen High School. We do have some advanced courses as early as middle school. We also offer dual credit and associate degree pathways. Again, there will be more information at an upcoming Raising Eagles. And Allen High School is also happy to host the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, which is an excellent program we'll talk a little bit more about in depth that we have had on our campus since 1999.
So there's a few important terms to know. One of those is open enrollment. It's a little different from when you might hear that term prerequisite. Open enrollment means that we really don't have any grade requirement or teacher recommendation that's required for a student to enroll in an advanced course. So our advanced courses are open enrollment, like our advanced courses at the 9th grade level or even our AP classes. Those are open to all students. A prerequisite is a little different. Prerequisite means there might be a course that a student needs to complete before they take a particular class. So for example, Algebra 2, it's going to have a prerequisite of Algebra 1. You know, the student's going to need to complete Algebra 1 before they take an Algebra 2 course. But the advanced courses, whether it be Advanced Algebra 1 or Advanced Algebra 2, those are open enrollment. That means any student is welcome to join that class. It does not require a particular grade in a prior class or any type of teacher recommendation in order to sign up for that class.
The next item you'd like to be familiar with is the academic planning guide. Whether you are a parent of a middle school or high school student, you'll want to really familiarize yourself with this document because it is a comprehensive guide to the courses that are offered, those important prerequisites, as Zach mentioned, and it will really help your student as if they're middle school kiddos, I know that they'll be working on their personal graduation plans very soon. It will help help lay the foundation for that. And as they work with their counselors through their time at Lowry and Allen High School, we'll go back to that planning guide over and over again to look at endorsement pathways, to look at course selections, and to look at the many things available to them as they matriculate in grades 9 through 12. So you'll really want to familiarize yourself with that document and go back and forth as questions arise.
Another important term to be familiar with that you will see on these documents is the GPA weight. The GPA weight, also known as weighted GPA, is a method employed to adjust a student's grade point average to reflect the difficulty level of their coursework. Within certain educational systems, specific courses are deemed more demanding or rigorous than others, thus receiving additional weight during GPA calculation. Typically, advanced placement, or international baccalaureate courses, we also including dual enrollment courses, are attributed a higher weight compared to standard courses. So for instance, for an on-level course, the current GPA will be 4.0, is under the level 1 category. For advanced and dual credit courses, they will fall under the level 2 category, and the GPA will be at 4.5. And finally, the level 3 courses, the AP and IB courses, will be receiving a 5.0 GPA. Weighted GPA provides detailed assessment of a student's academic performance, recognizing their involvement in challenging coursework. Colleges and universities often use it to gauge the complexity of a student's high school curriculum and academic achievements during the admission process.
So, and you can, again, go back to the academic planning guide using the QR code on your screen. Those will be posted annually on the AHS and Lowry Freshman Center websites. You can find those through your middle school counselors as well to get all of those terms, the GPA weight that Jose just talked through, as well as any prerequisites or open enrollment. So scan that QR code and it'll take you right to this year and last year's academic planning guides. So we've mentioned a number of options available to students, and we want to walk you through more specifically what each of these look like. We'll start with our advanced courses. These are formerly what we used to call pre-AP coursework. These courses also help lay the foundation for international baccalaureate participation at the high school level. So we really think about these as the earliest exposure to advanced coursework that students have. Earlier I said these begin in middle school. We actually have advanced math in grade 6, and so students get a taste of what this coursework looks like, sometimes as early as elementary school. Primarily, the open enrollment courses begin in grade 7. Those include English language arts, social studies, and science. For students to participate in advanced math, they must meet district criteria, and that is outlined on the Advanced Academics website for families to see. The evaluation process for that is automatic. The district initiates it, and we do review students twice. That schedule change and designation will show up on your student's Skyward preview in the spring. We encourage students beginning in middle school to sign up for the advanced courses that they're most interested in. What are their passion areas? What are the things that they really like to spend time on? We want them to get a flavor of what the level of rigor of an advanced course looks like through things that are high interest and highly engaging. Zach's going to talk a little bit about the selection process for advanced coursework later on in this presentation. But as you start thinking about the opportunities available at the middle school level and moving into high school, we really want to make sure that we encourage your students to think about what's interesting to them, think about their personal graduation plan, and select those advanced courses that are going to best meet their personal needs, as well as serve the foundational coursework for them to be successful later on. I mentioned the open enrollment courses. We also offer LOTE, that's language other than English coursework, at the middle school, beginning in grade 8. Advanced language courses in grade 8. Once again, students must meet criteria for participation, but those do count as high school credit. They do not count towards the weighted GPA or the high school GPA, but they do begin to earn your middle school student credit in high school, as well as Algebra 1. So those are some great foundational courses that you can think about as your student starts to plan for the future.
Absolutely. We also offer AP or advanced placement courses, and those start in the 9th grade. So advanced placement courses or AP courses, they really allow students to engage in like college level work, but while they're in high school. And really at the end of that course, students have the opportunity to take an AP exam, and based on their score on their exam and what university they decide to go to, they could end up earning college credit while still in high school. That does begin in 9th grade. Really the first main AP course that's available to students is AP Human Geography. It's their social studies credit for 9th grade as a geography class. And we actually have a couple of different levels of geography available to students. We have on level, which is a level 1 class. So we have advanced world geography, which is level 2. And then we have the AP Human Geography, which is level 3. AP Human Geography is open enrollment, so there are no requirements for a student to be able to sign up to take AP Human Geography when they're considering, in 8th grade, what classes they might want to take the next year. If they are, really interested in geography or they have a passion for social studies, or just kind of interested in exploring the AP program, it is open to all those students. And so it is one of about 28 AP courses that students will have the opportunity to engage in throughout high school. It is the one that's primarily located at Lowry. And so that's for most of them, their first taste of an AP class, and really opens the door to a lot of the AP classes that are then offered their sophomore, junior, and senior years.
AP is a great alternative for our students, along with the IB diploma program, also known as International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. Just to reiterate what it was mentioned earlier, this IB diploma program has been on our campus here at Allen High School since 1999. This is a unique program in which students join in the 11th grade, and then they finish this in the 12th grade. Now, with this program, we have students taking courses in 7 subject areas. We have English, math, we have science, we also have electives, etc. So there is a variety of different courses that they could take. There are also a specific core requirements for the IB diploma program, and those are unique to this program, such as the research project, also known as extended essay, also the TOK class, also known as the Theory of Knowledge course, and CAS, which stands for Creativity, Activity, and Service. All of the IB courses are weighted at a 5.0 GPA scale. And we also have the opportunity for our students, if they choose to take certain IB courses, you will see the term open enrollment. What that means is that the student could take that particular course if chooses not to pursue the IB diploma. So it just kind of worked out as another course that could mix and match with other advanced courses, perhaps with AP courses, and in some cases with some dual credit courses. So that is an important piece of the puzzle here. So parents and students are aware that obviously the diploma program is going to be that particular pathway in which the students will take most of the courses IB, and then the other option is to pursue the IB open enrollment, so the students could earn a certificate for that particular course upon the scores of that examination. So not all IB courses are open enrollment. There is a handful of them that they are. And yes, there will be some prerequisites that students are and parents are highly encouraged to read over that to ensure that the students could take those courses.
Right, and we are proud to offer all of these opportunities to students. Again, I will reiterate the need to go back and check out your academic planning guide, see what works best for your students, and really take a good thorough look at everything that we offer here. Zach's going to talk a little bit now about how to plan for these courses. Planning is just an essential part of making sure your student is able to maximize their high school experience. So he's going to walk you through what to think about and the different considerations to make.
Yeah, Allen ISD is really proud to offer just a variety of advanced academics courses that serve to challenge students. Those students, we know, have a variety of interests and skills and different goals in mind. And so we want them to pursue some of those interests or those passions that they have. With some planning, your student can take advantage of all the advanced academic opportunities that really best fit their needs. So some really important components are certainly to begin with the end in mind. This is something that comes up a lot with my discussion with students as they are considering what courses they're going to take for the rest of high school, and especially when it comes to math. When I think about, talk to them, well, what are your goals after high school, and what do you want to do? That should kind of tell you like what math class you want to be in your senior year, and then we can work towards that. Sometimes they get a little focused on maximizing their credits this year or taking as many as possible, which can be a great thing. But what's really important is beginning with the end in mind, because you need to know kind of where you want to go. Have that goal so that we can build a personalized plan for you to achieve that. There are some important timelines to consider. So if there's a student's interested in like the dual credit opportunity, they're going to go over that on that next week on that next Raising Eagles, but they have some timelines of required meetings to get information from students and to get out information to parents and students. So pay particular attention. Same thing when it comes to enrolling in courses. They're going to have their course selection towards the end of this semester, and then they're going to meet with their counselor at the beginning of the next semester to go over like, hey, what courses are we sure about this? Let's get those solidified so that they can then begin to prepare for what next school year looks like. Really important is that school life balance. So we know we want to encourage students to be a well-rounded student, to pursue their interests, and to be involved in the community, both the school community, but our community as a whole. And so what's important is to think about, I do want you to challenge yourself, but I don't want you to overwhelm yourself. So what other things are you interested in? What other things are you involved in? And how much time does that take? Let's find the right balance for you, because you might have commitments to extracurricular activities or to outside organizations, or maybe even family obligations. And so we want to put all of those things together to think about the student as a whole to find the right path for them. And that's when it comes all together to selecting the best advanced academic classes for them. Finding that balance will help them really on their path toward that goal.
I would like to add one more thing to what has already been shared, if you don't mind. And it has to do with developing the long-term plan. And yes, we understand that our students might not necessarily be in a position to really know what they would like to pursue, but as parents, we can start identifying certain trends and perhaps support our students in that process. Another thing that is important to acknowledge is that each university that your student would like to pursue will have unique requirements to specific things that is important for you as a parent, as a student as well, to become familiar with those requirements. There are instances in which students and take a very heavy course load, and there are times in which that balance needs to be met in a way that, hey, might not be necessary to take this many courses. Perhaps we can manage the workload in a way that you are developing as a well-rounded student. So those are some of the things that I would like to encourage parents and students to put a thought on what is that end goal and which universities will be one of those institutions that can help that roadmap from high school to that future academic pursuit. So I just wanted to share those thoughts. Thank you.
All right. Well, to piggyback on all of those great recommendations from the previous slide, we're going to extrapolate a little bit on how to choose those advanced academics courses. I'll start with talking through earning credit versus learning. We mentioned on earlier slides, sometimes students come in and they sit down with counselors and they try to build out their personal graduation plan or alter their graduation plan just to stockpile credit, taking credit by exams, loading up on what are called CLEP assessments, just really pile on the credit. But at the end of the day, does your student have an effective demonstration of learning for those courses that's going to enable them, like Jose said, to be successful at the college level? So we really, really want to take some time working with our students to help them understand, yes, sometimes there's a great time and a place to get extra credit through those platforms that I mentioned, but really, are we doing ourselves a long-term favor by gathering as much credit as possible versus sitting through a course and having a good, solid foundation of the knowledge and skills taught in that course so that I can be successful based on what my future goals are? So really consider the personal graduation plan, like Jose mentioned, what schools are they interested in, what pathways, what career pathways are they interested in, and what courses are going to help equip them to be successful. And that's where we really want to focus our time and attention.
Yeah, and we also look at like the speed versus quality when it comes to maybe some of their assignments or their assessments. Many students see the ability to complete work faster than others as like evidence of a skill. And oftentimes it can even be like a coping strategy as a way to avoid being challenged, just trying to getting through it as quick as possible. What we really encourage students to do is embrace the struggle. You know, sometimes when they get to, for a lot of students to high school, their first year of high school, they really confronted with some challenges. It's a big, kind of jump, and it's the first year that their grades are really going to count and the credit really counts towards graduation. But we encourage them to embrace those struggles because we learn a lot more through those challenges than we do by kind of coasting through things or just speeding through them. So when students struggle, when they struggle to complete work quickly for the first time, it can cause concern because it's uncharted territory for them. And so what we really try to do is help them embrace that and think more about learning from it. Like, what kind of skills can I acquire? Is it organizational? Is it time management? Is it some type of note-taking or preparation skill, as opposed to just kind of speeding through to avoid the challenge?
And to add on to what it was mentioned, when we think about long-term development of the skills, obviously we want our students to be successful from the moment they walk into our class, but that might not be necessarily the case. So what supports are we implementing around the student? What is that communication looking like between the student and the teachers? What is that tutorial session looking like? How are parents supporting not only the students, but also the teachers? So we encourage our students to obviously have that connection with the teacher so they can start developing this partnership throughout that particular school year and beyond. So with that being said, I think it's very important to keep an eye on how can we support our student as a parent. What are some of the expectations that we're putting on our students? And also, what are some of the support systems that we have on each campus to support our students throughout that process? And with that being said, we're going to turn it over to the next slide.
All right. We will have an opportunity for some questions and answers at the end of this presentation, but we do want to address some of our most frequently asked questions here on this portion of the presentation.
So one of the questions that are commonly asked is, what's the difference between what are the difference between the advanced academic opportunities available to my students? So as it was mentioned before, there are a number of opportunities available to students under the advanced academics umbrella. We have touch base on AP, International Baccalaureate, and we also mentioned dual credit. Now, there are certain differences in each particular pathway, and also on how some of those credits that your students will earn upon successfully completion of the course and the examination that they take at the end of the year, how those are going to be accepted by different institutions. So there is a comparison chart available here that we could provide, so you all can look at the differences amongst these courses, amongst this academic pathway for future pursuits of your student.
The second kind of commonly asked question is, can students just take CBEs or credit by exams to accelerate in some of those classes? And really, we do not encourage students to take CBEs to accelerate. We really think there is a lot of value in sitting through that course. Not only are they going to get a better foundation for understanding, but they're going to get additional skills by working with that teacher as opposed to just trying to pass a test. Students should begin with the end in mind. That's key there. They need to consider the purpose of taking a CBE and then speak to their counselor before taking an exam to understand whether it would be worth their time and even awarded credit. There's a difference really for a lot of our core classes. We don't encourage or even for many times we don't accept CBE scores to advance a student. But in some cases, like in languages other than English, if a student is completely fluent in a language, then that absolutely would make sense if they wanted to achieve some credit for those LOTE classes by taking a CBE. So what we really discuss with students when they ask about the CBEs is really what's the purpose of taking your CBE? What are you trying to achieve with that? What's your end goal? And then what kind of CBEs are you wanting to take? Ultimately, they should speak to their counselor because the counselor can give them more information, especially when it comes to whether that CBE score would even be accepted.
And finally, a question that we get very frequently from our middle school parents, what if my 8th grader does not take Algebra 1 in 8th grade? As I mentioned on a previous slide, Algebra 1 and Advanced Language coursework are the first opportunities for students to start earning high school credit in middle school. And I know that everyone is very, very anxious for their kids to be able to participate in that opportunity. However, we have a number of students for whom that's simply not academically appropriate, and pushing through a high school level course without the requisite mathematical foundation to really understand and apply the principles taught in that course is ultimately detrimental to your child's math progression. If your student does not take Algebra 1 as an 8th grader, that's perfectly fine. There are a number of opportunities to accelerate instruction in grades 9 through 12. The one that I would recommend pursuing would be to double up on Algebra 2 and Geometry their sophomore year, so that they are able to spend their 8th grade year as well as their freshman year getting a really, really solid mathematical understanding and foundation laid so that they can be successful in those upper level math courses at a later time.
All right, so I would like to share with y'all a little bit of a timeline of important dates when it comes down to advanced academics, specifically for advanced placement. The rising 7th and 8th graders will have an opportunity at the Middle School Expo Night. I believe I'm not sure if the dates are already available, but these usually take place in the month of January to learn more about different options. Grades 9 and above, we encourage the students to discuss AP opportunities with their counselor during their yearly course selection meeting. And you can also reach out to the Advanced Academics Coordinator on each campus, whether it's Mr. Silvers at LFC or myself here at Allen High School. When it comes up to International Baccalaureate, we do have informational meetings. We actually had one not too long ago. September 27 was the first one that we had. And we will have that meeting was targeted for the sophomore class. And then on January 22nd, we will have the meeting targeted for 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. If you would like to learn more about the IB Diploma Program here on campus, I encourage you to visit the IB Diploma Program page. And there is also an interest form that you could fill out. There is an interest form that parents can fill out, but there is also another interest form for 10th graders. So if the 10th grader student would like to learn more about the program, encourage them to locate that form on that page, and then they can connect with me through that form, and I will connect with them and provide more information about the program. If you are a student, if your student is in the 9th grade, they can also contact Mr. Silvers to discuss their options and kind of start thinking about some of the courses that they need to have in order to transition from the 10th grade to the 11th grade most successfully. And as it was mentioned earlier in the presentation, there will be a dual credit opportunity as well for parents to learn more about it. And it looks like it's going to be on October 8th.
On this slide, we wanted to just kind of give you a screenshot. We've talked about a lot of things today, and we've sent you a lot of different places, whether it's the academic planning guide, to contact your advanced academics coordinator, or to check out what we have. So we just wanted to share some screenshots from the district websites for Lowry, for the high school, and the offerings I mentioned earlier. Ashley, a copy of this presentation will be shared for folks to be able to access the links that we've included here. The district website is linked right up here, as well as the drop-down menus for Lowry and the high school, just so we know we're pointing you in the correct direction. And with that, there's our contact information. Once again, please feel free to reach out to any of us if we can be of assistance or support as you guys kind of navigate this next little bit of course selection with your students. And Christy, I think we've got some questions. Is that right, in the chat?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Alrighty.
Okay, so let's get into the first one. What are the mandatory courses they would need to take in IB, and how many electives would they be able to take outside IB? After prelim calculations, it appears they won't be able to take double block electives. Is that a correct assumption?
Well, that is a very loaded question with several parts. So let me go back to the first part of the question. So assuming that the student would like to pursue the IB diploma program, there are two main prerequisites the student must complete. The minimum prerequisite under the math realm will be completion of Algebra 2 by the 10th grade. And the minimum foreign language requirement will be having 2 years of the same language, whether it's Spanish, Chinese, French, or German, by the end of the 10th grade. Obviously, we encourage our students that are wanting to pursue IB and perhaps have a little more options in the junior and senior year so they can complement the IB course load with other courses that perhaps might not be IB, could be an AP course, for example, then to consider completing pre-calculus by the 10th grade and completing the third year of a foreign language by the 10th grade. So that is how you can open up the schedule in the junior and senior year for other courses, though. I hope that answers the question. Am I missing something from that question?
I don't think so. But they can, if they have additional questions after that, they can put it in here and we can follow up.
Great.
All right, the next one. What does GT fall into? And asking the differences between advanced classes and GT classes.
So that's a good question. At the high school level, we have what are listed as Phoenix courses in your academic planning guide. And those are, oh my gracious, it's dark in here. Well, here we go. So those Phoenix courses follow the English language arts coursework, English 1 all the way up through English AP literature and AP language. Those are the only gifted and talented designated courses available for students in grades 9-12. However, we do encourage all of our students identified for gifted and talented services at the high school level to participate in IB coursework, to participate in advanced placement coursework, as I mentioned earlier, as their areas of interest and passion dictate. So we do have GT courses. We also feature what we call a COSAT. That means that we have students identified for GT services and students who are not identified for GT services, so they're sitting together in a classroom. We have those services available through International Baccalaureate English as well. So if your students are really passionate about reading, writing, rhetorical analysis, GT courses are the place to go in grades 9-12. Otherwise, we really encourage them to diversify their options through exploring advanced academics coursework that's most appropriate for their interest level and learning needs.
Thank you. Okay, the next question. Is a 2-year foreign language a prerequisite for IB in 11th grade? If students did not take a language in middle school but started language in 10th, is he eligible for IB?
Thank you for the question. I had a little bit of a disruption on the connection. Would you mind repeating it one more time, please?
Sure. Is a 2-year foreign language a prerequisite in IB in 11th grade? If a student did not take a language in middle school but started a language in 10th grade, will he be eligible for IB?
The student will have to complete the second year by the 10th grade. So if that prerequisite for the IB diploma program, that will have to be completed. So 2 years by the end of the 10th grade. In some instances, the students are eligible to take the IB open enrollment courses in other subject areas as well. So those are the pieces that the students and parents will have to look at it. But yes, for the IB diploma program, we encourage the students to complete their foreign language requirement, the minimum requirement of 2 years by the 10th grade. Highly recommended 3 years of the same language by the 10th grade.
All right, thank you. Is there a site we can go to see the percentage of Allen students that get a 3+ on an AP test or a 5 or an AP test for each class offered?
I can share with you the latest data that it was shared with us from College Board. 90% of our students that have taken AP exams, and please know that we administer over 5,000 exams. So 90% of them have scored 3 or above in their AP examinations last testing cycle, which was May 2024.
All right. Does my student need to take advanced math courses in 7th and 8th grade to be able to enroll in AP math courses starting from 9th grade?
No.
All right. For dual credit, does my student need to apply for college or is through high school enrollment? How do we calculate tuition cost?
I will encourage you to attend next week's Raising Eagles, where they can give you a detailed breakdown of questions associated with dual credit. I will say on that comparison chart, we do have a bit at the very end that outlines costs as they are right now. Those costs are subject to change, certainly. At the modification of the governing organizations. But that's on there. I don't know that we have that detailed information in this session, but we encourage you to join next week.
It's another one that may be for next week as well. Is it possible to combine some AP courses and some dual credit? When does the decision for dual credit sign up? When is that made?
I can answer part of that. It is absolutely possible to combine AP courses and dual credit courses, just like it is possible to combine some AP and open enrollment IB courses, or even on occasion dual credit and open and IB courses as well, the open enrollment ones. So that's the benefit to AP is there's a little more pick and choose, and so it allows students to engage in some dual credit, like whether it be English or social studies, as well as take some AP classes. I don't know the exact timing. That's probably going to be on next week's webinar. But I do know that they have like a general interest meeting. And certainly they have a web page as well on the Allen High School website that could give you more information, as well as the contact persons that could answer those kind of questions for you.
Thank you. Is there a database which shows what AP scores are accepted at various colleges across the U.S.?
Yes, you can visit College Board website and do that search. They have a designated area on the College Board site in which you can locate the university, and then it will show you that table of credits depending on that university. You can also do the search to that into that university and go to the table of credits for AP, and then you can look, because once again, each university will provide X amount of credit hours depending on the score. And in some universities, you might have to score a 5 to get credits, and some other ones you might have to score a 4 to get some credit. So it will depend on which university that student will end up going.
Okay. For kids graduating top 5% of Allen High School, are they mainly AP, IB students? Curious if dual credit will lower weighted GPA would negatively impact their ranking.
Did you say the top 10%?
Top 5%.
Top 5.
Top 5. The majority of our students will be in the AP, IB realm for that percentage. There are also students taking AP, IB, and dual credit classes all combined. So again, it all depends on what the end goal is and how you put a pathway that can help your students to reach that goal.
All right. I see only Chinese, Spanish, French, and German are required. If a student has received a 4-year credit from another language, Telugu, will that be taken into account along with Chinese, Spanish, French, German if student starts in 10th grade?
I think what they're asking about is the IB program specifically. And so we, not necessarily, because that language has to be one that we offer for the IB program. So they would need to have completed 2 years of either Chinese, Spanish, French, or German by the end of their sophomore year. Now, as far as high school credit, they would certainly receive, if they've received 4-year credit for a CBE for Telugu, then they're going to have that for high school credit, but it wouldn't necessarily count towards, because we don't have that as a language course in IB, it wouldn't count towards them in the IB program. They would have to pursue one of those other languages.
And to add on to that answer, universities will also have to look into this piece, because if your student does not have college credit that showcase that your student have successfully completed that requirement, then your student most likely will have to take a foreign language in college.
Okay. Is there a pathway guide available for IB, which has a table outlining the subject pathway that they need to do from 9th to 12th grade?
We have information on Allen High School on the Allen High School website for the International Baccalaureate page, in which shows the courses that we offer and also the prerequisites that are needed. So as I mentioned before, in this page, you will be able to see several presentations that I have shared with community members, students, and families that outlines those prerequisites. And again, just ensuring that we are in the right track for math and the foreign language. Those are the main components. As far as the other courses, we encourage your students to obviously consider taking advanced courses, whether it's an advanced course or an AP course before the 11th grade. So your student is in a process of developing those skills to help that transition from the 10th grade to the 11th grade most successfully.
Okay, thank you. Is there open enrollment IB courses that can be transferred for credit for AP classes if not wanting to pursue IB courses later?
Let me just share something. An IB open enrollment class will function as an AP open enrollment class. What does that mean? It means that the student takes the course, they complete the coursework, and then they take an examination at the end of that course, usually during the May testing cycle. Depending on the university that your student would like to go, then those credits are going to be transferred. So again, it goes back to the university itself. Some universities will give you X amount of credit if you take an IB course. They will give you X amount of credits if the student take an AP course. So that is why it's so important, as I mentioned earlier, that yes, we're putting a plan for your student as far as the courses and in order to navigate the different advanced academic pathways that we have. But at the end of the day, it's that university of universities that parents and students need to become familiar with the expectations. So that plan that we have put together connects to that end goal most successfully.
Okay. All right, let me move over to the chat. There's quite a few questions in there. Give me 1 second. Let's see.
I think the first one came from Paige.
Oh,
about
yeah.
working with students.
Did you already read it, or do you want me to read it?
Go for it, because I think Jose probably has the best answer there.
Okay. I am working with students on their PGPs who are wanting to pursue the full IB diploma. Is my understanding correct that the 14 credit students earn 11th and 12th grade year, two of the credits are TOK, then 6 other credits are either 4HL/2SL or 3HL/3SL, and then the remaining six credits are free choice?
Okay, another loaded question here. So the TOK class is part of the core requirements of the IB diploma. So to answer to your question is yes. So the students will have 2 options for the IB diploma plan. The option 1 could be taking 4HL. HL stands for higher level courses, and 2 SLs. SL stands for standard level courses. What's the difference between these 2 courses? The higher level is a 2-year course, whereas the SL is 1-year course. Okay, and the other IB diploma plan that we have is the 3HL, 3SL. The other credits that you're referring to, the 6 remaining ones, those are going to be accumulated throughout, the 10th grade, 11, and 12. So yes, they can pick and choose which other courses are there. Now, that is going to vary by students. So therefore, it's important to kind of consider that particular end goal so we can help our students to make the best choices.
And so I think part of that question too is whether you're talking about the 4HL 2SL or 3HL 3SL split, is the theory of knowledge credits, are those part of those numbers or are those separate?
No, they're separate.
Okay.
All right. Would you recommend double blocking algebra and geometry in ninth grade?
Honestly, it's kind of a tricky question. So that only would work is if the student one was successfully completed algebra 1 in 8th grade, and in order to double block there is a requirement for that. They have to have achieved a certain grade throughout the year. So you can't really double block algebra 1 in geometry because algebra 1 has to be completed before you take geometry. But students do have the opportunity, if they've met those requirements, to double block algebra 2 in geometry in ninth grade. And the recommend part, it depends on what the student wants to achieve, like what math course they want to be in their senior year. If they were wanting to take IBHL math their junior and senior year, then I think it would be a great idea because it would give them an opportunity to be in pre-cal their 10th grade year, and that would really set them up for success in IBHL math. But again, the answer to that question is the recommended part is really what class they're wanting, what kind of math class they're wanting to be in on their senior year.
Okay. What is a weighted GPA for dual credit classes?
As of right now, dual credit classes are level 2, which is 4.5 GPA. But that's just that current number. That could change.
Okay. They say to succeed in IB, you should be a good writer, reader, and to be good with teamwork. Is that true?
I think that's true for any course that you take. It's not necessarily pertaining to the IB diploma program. Those are wonderful skills that any student should be able to develop as part of our Allen High School or Allen ISD graduation profile. So I think those are great skills. I do want to mention, though, since IB was mentioned here, that one of the aspects of the IB diploma is the holistic approach that it takes, not only to focus on academics, obviously the skill development on each subject area, but also how do the students continue to grow as individuals in a holistic manner. There are several opportunities in the program in which the students not only explore research options, which are very well appreciated by admissions officers in the university, how they can highlight the research they have done during their high school career and how that can help them to position themselves in the top group of admissions in the universities that they would like to attend. In addition, you also have the creativity activity service stands for the CAS, which those are projects as well the students have an opportunity to develop throughout the duration of the program, in which they can showcase their community involvement, what are some of the initiatives that they have done or they want to do. It's a great opportunity, again, to showcase how the program, how your student is well-rounded, and it has been due to the approach of IB of developing global citizens in a holistic manner.
Yeah, so to answer that question, really, especially for advanced classes, but particularly IB and AP classes, we help students develop those skills. But yeah, they do need to be good writers and readers and good with teamwork to be successful in those advanced classes.
Awesome, thank you. Will any of the advanced coursework include PSAT or SAT prep?
Well, we do have a PSAT and SAT prep course here on campus. We actually offer PSAT boot camps for students. And then we also have the SAT, ACT class that we offer in the fall and the spring. So those are great opportunities for your student to be able to grow in the skills that they already have in pursuit of these particular examinations. I do want to mention, though, that the PSAT at the 11th grade is an important opportunity for your student if would like to be considered in the national merit competition. So these are things that we definitely would like your student to prepare well for it. And the SAT and ACT course is available as well for our juniors students and seniors as well, for those that want to take it.
Okay, thank you. Why is Allen's IB program only 40 to 60 people each year? Why don't more people sign up?
Well, one of the great opportunities that we have on here in Allen ISD is that the students have an opportunity to select which academic pathway we have. So we have three main advanced academics pathways I mentioned before: dual credit, AP, and IB. And then you have the students that would like to pursue the IB diploma program. Those numbers are give and take the numbers of the IB diploma programs. We have many students taking IB open enrollment courses as well. In regarding to the sign up or the interest, well, every year will fluctuate. Sometimes you have a cohort that you have 50 students, or another cohort in which you have 30 or 25 students. So it's going to vary depending on how the students are progressing through their academic pathways. And also there is a little more information nowadays in which we are working very diligently to educate parents and students or of the different advanced academics options they are and how important it is to plan early. One of the things that we encounter is that the students by the 10th grade, they want to join whether it's IB or take an AP class or even do something with dual credit. And sometimes they realize, oh, but I don't have the prerequisites to do it. Well, that's why we are hosting these sessions too, and also the in-person meetings, so we can share this information early enough so parents and students can plan accordingly based on their future pursuits.
Okay. This question's kind of like one before. My kid is in 8th grade. She has taken Algebra 1 now. Can she double book for Algebra 2 and Geometry in her 9th grade since CBE Geometry is not recommended?
Yes, again, there are some requirements. I would definitely encourage you to reach out to your student's current counselor. But if they are successful in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, and they've had a good score in that class throughout the year, then they certainly could be eligible to double block geometry and Algebra 2 in 9th grade.
All right. Can a student CBE their first year of language that is offered at the high school and then take 2 to 3 more years of language to satisfy the IB full diploma requirements?
That is a great question, though. I think I will be interested to know which language it is that the student would like to CBE the first year. Whether or not the students have already been exposed to this language, or perhaps if it is a native speaker of this language. So it will be important to get more context to best, to understand better the situation. So, it's gonna be one of those things that it will require a rationale behind. Like if the student wants to take the IB diploma program, great. Let's see how this could work. We encourage our students, though, to take the class because they will start developing the skills since the moment they walk to the first year of the class all the way until they wrap up their foreign language experience in the languages that we offer. But I hope that answers the question.
She also tagged on at the bottom and said the student is a native speaker to Chinese.
Okay, so for the native speaker of Chinese, that case, you could potentially look into the CBE option and then see, depending on the performance of the students, and then depending on how many credits, then we need to plug that student into the year. Usually, depending on the credits, we'll have to see in a case-by-case scenario. So I think it's also important to know what grade your student is in. If your student is an 8th grader or 9th grader, you have time. So those are things to consider as well.
Okay, and looks like the last question, is it okay to take AP statistics before AP calculus, or is it after recommended, or after is recommended in junior and senior year, or better to take statistics as an elective? And when to take the SAT? When's the best time to take the SAT?
Well, you can take the SAT, 11th grade, 10th grade as well. So usually you start with the PSAT in the 10th grade, and then you take the PSAT again, and then you take the SAT multiple times if needed, usually in the 11th grade. So those are options that you could explore. Regarding the what is best to take a statistics or AP calculus, are we referring to AP calculus AB or are we talking about AP calculus BC? Because either way, you could take one of those courses first and then take a statistics. So it will depend on also course availability. So sometimes students will have to take one of those courses earlier, although it is probably more, well, what I've seen is that students usually take calculus first and then statistics, but in some cases that might have to be the other way around.
All right. I think that is all the questions I see.
There's some more in the Q&A. I've been trying to answer them.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw some and then they were going away. So, okay, hang on.
I was trying to type some answers to some people that I could get quickly.
Thank you. Will you put out the link for the Zoom meeting in the doc? Yes, we will. Let's see. Can we get a recording of this webinar? Yes, we will put that on our website. What's the reason to double block math?
In general, it definitely has to do with beginning with the end in mind. So, sometimes that student wants to take like IB Math HL, and they can certainly have completed Algebra 2 in 10th grade and do that. But for a better foundation, if they're able to get to pre-calculus in 10th grade, they're going to be even more prepared for IB Math HL. So it really has to do with beginning and end in mind. You don't want to double block math just to try to get more credits, because you want to make sure if they're considering a university to go to, their first math classes in universities are going to be calculus-based classes, and definitely they're going to look at students and want students to have taken a calculus-based math class their senior year of high school. So if a student's trying to like double block math early on and speed through and get to calculus their junior year, then they're going to kind of be a little more out of options of what to take their senior year. Not completely, because there are a couple of different calculus-based classes they could take, but I would say really it just depends on what the end in mind is. You want to end up in a calculus-based math class your senior year. So in considering double blocking math, it's, hey, is that going to get me to my goal, or is this just a chance to try to earn more credit? And you really want to focus on what the goal is at the end.
Okay, we have they said, what's the reason to double block math? And then she said Algebra 2 and pre-cal.
No, I don't believe you know what? I would say look at the APG. I don't know, Jose, if you happen to know, but I think that they have to complete Algebra 2 before pre-cal.
That is correct.
Okay. Got it. All right, let's see. Student completed Algebra 1 in 8th grade and Geometry in 9th, so double back for 10th. Is that allowed?
Yeah, because that's the same kind of question they're asking about. Can they put Algebra 2 and pre-cal as a double block? And the answer is no. You'd have to complete Algebra 2 before enrolling in pre-calculus.
All right, and there's another one. Sorry for the follow-up question, but I'm still not clear about how the kids can take any electives from the planning guide when there are 7 required courses in IB diploma per the website. Our IB students spend their junior, 11th grade, and senior year taking IB courses in 7 subject areas.
I do wanna clarify a couple of things with that question. So when the students are pursuing the IB diploma program, the students and I will meet, and then we'll go over that particular pathway that we'll put together. So depending on the prerequisites that your students brings in, Then we will dive into the required courses for the IB diploma. So once again, the required courses are going to come from the realm of 6 courses that are going to be part of the IB diploma, plus the theory of knowledge class. Okay, so the student at that point, as far as the elective that you mentioned, we will look at the electives that your student have taken up to the 11th grade. And then if we need to add some sort of elective, well, some of the courses for IB that are the part of the diploma plan can also be counted as electives. So those are some of the things that we look into it, and we ensure that the student is in track for the graduation requirements of the state of Texas, and we also comply with the IB diploma expectations. So I hope that clarifies.
Yeah, let me add something to that as well. So they're based on what I've seen with the questions, it looks like they might think that the student is enrolled in 7 IB courses, both in their junior year and another 7 IB courses their senior year, and that's not exactly the case. They're not going to necessarily have 7 IB classes their junior year and then 7 IB classes their senior year. Is that correct?
Well, when we look into it, how the diploma works, if your student is taking 4 HL classes, that class is a 2-year course. So I hope that kind of helps to clarify the answer.
If they're doing 4 HL and 2 SL for the diploma,
right,
then those 4 HL could be in their junior year, and then they might have 1 SL. So that'd only be 5 IB classes their junior year. Right. And then they would do the 4 HL and the other SL, so 5 their senior year. So they're not necessarily enrolled in 7 IB classes their junior year and 7 IB classes their senior year.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to clarify why they can take electives. Yes, they're going to be a little more limited because there's a lot of structure to the program, but they can take electives because it's not 7 IB courses each year.
Yeah, we currently have students in band, orchestra. We have students participating in athletics as well. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that depending on what the student would like to pursue, we will work with the prerequisites and ensuring that your student takes the courses and the pathway that will work best for his or her future pursuits.
Great, thank you. And I think that is all the questions we have.
Well, thank everybody for oh, you're welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate the opportunity to share some information with you all, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions you might have.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for leading this presentation today. I know that the community truly appreciates the support. I know that academic planning guide can be extremely overwhelming. So any of the sessions that are out there, I encourage you to take advantage of them. I have a high schooler, and when I saw the APG, in middle school, I was like, oh my gosh, there's like 150 some pages. So take advantage of the support. You guys got this. You'll make it through, I promise. There are just so many fabulous options at Allen High School.